Hey guys, welcome to EC Electronics. Are you preparing for some interviews? Are you really tensed about what all things to keep in mind before going for an interview? This video is for you guys. This video is about the do's and don'ts in interviews. Okay, so there are some things which we do by mistake in interviews, and there are some things which we forget while we are going for attending interviews. So in this video, we will be discussing about the do's and don'ts in interviews. Okay. The first thing which you have to keep in mind is that inside the interview room or in front of the interviewer, you should always keep a smile. That is, do smile while you are attending an interview. Now, what is the importance of this smile? The smile always enhances your personality, creates a positive attitude, and it creates a feeling that you are open towards the interviewer, and hence the interviewer will tempt to ask you more questions, and also it will create a good communication with you in between you guys, that is the interviewer and you. So the smile always enhances your personality. So always do smile while you are attending an interview. Because whenever you're smiling, that smile will force the interviewer to ask more questions that can be either technical or personal things. Okay, so anyways, it will always create a positive attitude. The next thing is, don't dress casually whenever you're going for an interview. So whenever you're going for an interview, the dressing is also given some importance. So when you're going for an interview, always try to be little formal. That is, while it comes to your dressing, you should be little formal in your dressing. Okay, so why can't you dress casually? Because whenever you are dressing casually, that means that you have not taken the interview more seriously. So if you're dressing formally, it will create a feeling on the interviewer that you have taken this interview really serious and you have some importance for getting this job. And hence the interviewer will be having a positive attitude towards you and will be interested in you. And another important thing is that the dress should be comfortable for you. You should have a confidence in your dressing. Then only you can be confident in the interview throughout. Okay, so the dressing should be very comfortable for you. It should enhance your confidence and it should be little formal, so that it should create a feeling that you should have taken this interview seriously. Okay, so that is the second thing. Don't dress casually. Third thing is that do your homework. That is, when you are going for an interview, you should be well prepared about the technical things. Also, you should be well prepared about the company to which you are going to attend the interview. That is, you should be well aware about your employer. Okay, so inside the interview room, they may be asking about their company. So what is the main products? What are the main services? Where is the headquarters? Where are the branches? So all these things they may ask in order to check whether you are informed about them. That is, about their services or products at least. So you should be doing a very good homework about the company which you are going to apply or which you are going to attend the interview. So if you're not doing this homework, there are high chances for you to get ashamed in the interview room, because if you don't know anything about the company or their background and they are asking you, means you may get ashamed, and so that is a very bad thing, and that will create a very bad attitude for them towards you. So always do your homework about the company and its backgrounds and products and services, and the CEO, the headquarters, their origin. All these things you should be aware, and it will always create a feeling that you are really interested in getting this job and hence you are here. So always do your homework before going for an interview. The next thing is that don't ever lie in the interview room. So whenever you are being interviewed, don't ever lie in front of your interviewer. So what are the problems when you are lying? The first thing is that when you are lying, it will create a negative attitude. Your mind will get disturbed. You may be out of focus. So what are they asking? So it will totally disturb your mind and everything. So don't ever lie. And also, even if you're getting that job on the basis of that lie, that won't be long lasting, right? So please don't ever lie about anything inside the interview room or in front of the interviewer. The next thing to keep in mind is that do wait for your interviewer to finish his or her question. Okay, if the interviewer is saying something or if he is or she is asking something, just wait for the interviewer to finish off that first. Then you have to answer. That is, if you have been asked some question, let the interviewer finish the question first, then take a second to think about what he has asked, then answer. So the interview should not be a monologue. You should not be always talking. It should be like a healthy discussion happening between the interviewer and the interviewer or you. So Inside the company also, when you are being selected or when you are working inside the company, there are a lot of discussions happening. So you should always give a talking space for others. That is, you should always give value for others' words or opinions. So this is really important. This thing the interviewer will be always taking care of. That is, whether you are giving a chance for him to speak or whether you are giving him a talking space. So that is very important. Whenever you're going for an interview, you have to wait for the interviewer to finish his or her question first, and then you have to answer. The next thing to keep in mind is that don't ever say bad things about your previous employer. So if you are a person who's having a work experience, or if you are a student immediately graduated or post-graduated from a college, don't ever say bad things about your previous institution, that is your college, or don't ever say bad things about your previous employer. So that is a very important thing. So if you are saying bad things, the first thing is that you won't get any benefit. You won't have any chances that you will get the job by these bad things you have said, and also it will create a bad impression on your personality. So don't ever say bad things about the previous employer. So it will create a negative ambience inside the room. So that is not good for your interview. That will have a negative impression on your personality. So don't say bad things. It will affect you only. So please don't say bad things about your previous employer or institution. Do highlight your success. If you have any great achievements in life, if you have any great achievements in your college or your previous firm where you have worked, please do highlight it. But whenever you are highlighting it, be humble about it and highlight. Okay, so if you have a success, that is, you have achieved this role or this position in that company, just say that I'm glad that I have achieved this much of success, or I have achieved this position in that company, and I'm very glad about it. You have to be humble while highlighting your success. So that is an important thing. That is, you can highlight your success, but be humble while you are highlighting it. The next important thing to keep in mind while going for interview is that don't add filler spaces while you're speaking. That is, the filler spaces are like that. So while you're adding these filler spaces, the interviewer may think that you are not confident and no, you are not sure about the things which you are going to say, and you are taking some time to think while you are saying this like that. Okay, so that is not a very simple thing to cut it off all of a sudden, but if you practice it, it is easy. So I also have this problem of adding a lot of filler spaces, but when you are going for an interview, it is very important, because this, as I said earlier, this will create a feeling that you are not very confident or very sure about the things which you are going to say. So by gradually practicing it, you can avoid it. So what you can do is that there are certain questions or certain topics which is very sure that the interviewer will ask. So while going for an interview or while preparing for the interview, you can rehearse these things 2 or 3 times. And while rehearsing it, you can try to avoid the filler spaces. You can also frame certain sentences while the interviewer is asking you these questions. So you can avoid the filler spaces or at least minimize. So I'm not saying you to avoid it, but try to minimize the filler spaces while you're going for interviews. Okay. The next thing is very, very important while you're going for an interview. That is, do maintain eye contact and do maintain a good posture. So that these 2 things are very, very important while going for an interview. So many people have this problem of maintaining eye contact while in general conversation also, and while in interviews also. So what it comes to interviews is that it is very important. So when you are speaking and maintaining an eye contact means it creates a good attitude towards you and towards your personality. So always try to maintain an eye contact when you are speaking or when you are sitting in front of the interviewer. Okay, and also maintain a very good posture. And I'm sure that these 2 things will be having a great weightage of marks, and it is having a great importance whether you're getting selected or not. The next thing is that don't ever go for the interview 5 minutes or 10 minutes earlier. That is, when you're going for an interview, you have to be at least 1 hour earlier than the given time. That is, if you are having an interview at 10 a.m. means you have to be there at least at 9 a.m. Now, why is this important? Because you need some time to be friendly with the atmosphere, with the building, and with the total atmosphere. So you need some time to get calm yourself down and to be ready for getting interviewed. I'm not telling you to get prepared in that time, that is within 1 hour. I'm telling you to just calm yourself down, just be composed within this time. So you need a cool off time, right? So this cool off time is really important while going for an interview. So you have to be at least 1 hour earlier when you're going for an interview. That is, if it is at 10 a.m., you have to be at 9 a.m. at least. So don't ever go for the interview at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes earlier. Okay. The thing is that do always carry a neat file in your hands. So you'll have a lot of certificates, your talent, your degree, your everything, your certifications, all your details, your resume, everything should be well organized in a file. And you should know the position of each and everything. That is, the certificates are kept at which position you should be known. So this carrying of this file will create a good impression. So rather than just carrying all certificates in hand, you have to be like a little formal. You have to carry this file, and whenever you are being interviewed, when you are sitting in front of the interviewer, if the interviewer is asking you these certificates, just take it out from the file and give him. Don't carry these certificates in your hand. Always carry a well organized and neat file. Okay. The next thing is that don't be arrogant and don't be overconfident. So you have a lot of confidence, you have a lot of technical knowledge, you have a lot of talent, but be humble whenever you're going for an interview, because this humbleness will create a good attitude towards you and will attract the interviewer towards you and will force the interviewer to choose you. So if you're talented and if you're humble and if you're confident, means it is very good, but don't ever be overconfident or arrogant. Okay, so while you're saying about yourself, I have said in the earlier video also, it should be like I am. It should not be like myself, or it should not be like I am Miss or I am Mr. So this adds a lot of self-importance. So while you're going for an interview, so much of self-importance is also not good. So you have to be humble, you have to be confident, and please don't be arrogant and overconfident. Okay. The last thing is that to bring your notes while you're going for an interview. That is, when you're going for an interview and you have prepared a little notes, that may be 2-3 papers, but these notes, if you carry along with you for the interview, I'm not telling you to prepare at the interview building or in the interview location. I'm telling you that if you're carrying these things, it will enhance your confidence. Say if you are waiting for the interview outside the room and you have a sudden doubt about the company or about some technical things or some coding things, you have a doubt and you just forgot what was the answer, and suddenly this thing can disturb your mind and will irritate you. Okay, so if you are going inside the room with this disturbed mind, that is not a good thing. If you have this note, means you can clarify your doubt, and that will calm you down. So that can be a good thing. So if you have your notes, just carry those notes with you. I'm not telling you to prepare at the interview location. That is also not good thing. But if you have a sudden doubt, means you can clarify it, and your mind won't get disturbed. Okay, so that is a good thing. Do bring your notes. So these are the certain do's and don'ts while you are going for an interview. So for an interview, you have to always get prepared with several things. You have to keep several things in mind before going for an interview, because it is very important, because it is something which is really important in your life, in your career. Okay, so please do take care of these things while going for an interview. Please do share this video with your friends who are preparing for any of the interview. That can be of any type. If anyone is preparing for interview, please do share this video with your friends and also with your family, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.